Everybody doing well?
Thank you,
Like,
Sheena.
every weekend, Kamohai and Tristan's setup gets fancier and fancier. Now you got like a moving background. Is it moving or is it just me moving?
You're moving. It's not moving.
I gotta stop smoking. I'm not. I don't dress like Alex. I just smoke like him. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
That's
too much
cool.
pre-workout, bro. Too much
Yeah.
pre-workout. Gotta
looks
taper
cool.
down.
That's a nice background. That's awesome. Oh, look at Alex Camacho's background too. Is that a flip, bro? That's beautiful.
Oh, Camacho.
I'm in my Maui house, man. Come kick it. Who's on Maui? Let's go.
Oh, nice.
Or
Who's
who
on
wants to be on
Maui?
Maui?
Greg Turner. Oh no. Where are you from, Greg?
Morning. Good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. See, I'm from the mainland, but I'm currently on Oahu.
Oh, nice. Okay. Perfect. Love it. Yeah, who is on Maui? Who else is on Maui? That's on. I think Tay and Zasha are not on today, but anyways, happy Aloha Friday, everybody. Thanks for jumping on. It's a special Aloha Friday, special weekend because it is Mother's Day. Weekend, so big weekend, right? And that's why we kind of have our special guest in the office with Leila, because there's so many times I wonder, like, how does she do it, and I want to spotlight her a little bit and learn a few things. And I know there's a lot of moms that jump on our call, and truly I have no idea how everyone balances. I have a hard time taking care of myself sometimes. So and then happy early Mother's Day to everybody. And Kekoa is back, and he's got some fresh ink.
Oh yeah, I got a tattoo last week.
While he's on the island.
It's not done yet though. So
You gotta go back.
He's coming here to Vegas, so it'll be fun.
You're flying him to Vegas.
No. He's gonna move to Vegas.
Oh, he's moving to Vegas. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So yeah. Anybody
Well,
wants
just
to
out of curiosity, before we kind of officially get started, I wanted to Kekoa, if you have any updates on the syndication we have out there, so we can kind of learn along the way.
Yeah, I wish I would have brought some photos, but I was just there today. It was pretty exciting. I wrote him a check for $500,000, which is probably the biggest check I think I've ever written. Like, you wire money these days, but you don't write checks. It's hard to write out 500. I'm not even sure how to write it out, but we were initially planning on a big swimming pool in the middle of the courtyard. We have a whole layout all set up. We went to get permitting, and we find out that the sewer main is running right through the middle of our property for the entire neighborhood. And so if we were to move a sewer line, like a major sewer line, like we're talking big poop, like going through our property, that would be just the cost of it was just astronomical. And it was completely cost prohibitive, no matter how cool I thought my design was. Like, it was just a deal breaker. So we went to the drawing board, started reevaluating it. And sometimes as investors, I think sometimes the greatest blessing is when the curveball comes and then you have to get more creative, because the first design is not always the best design. Kamohai's nodding his head. So a few of us, we understand that. Roderick's nodding his head. So it was frustrating at first. And I was like, dude, that just blows my entire design. But after walking it today and taking a look at what used to be 2 storage rooms are now going to be converted to offices and a laundry room and a gym, which is really cool. And then we're going to actually move the swimming pool to a different location. And then now we could put a dog park to where we were going to do it. So, I mean, just all kinds of things is just really cool. And then on top of it, it saves $1 million. So I'm like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. Let's save $1 million and let's do a bigger swimming pool and cool stuff like that. So it's pretty solid. I'll try to do a little thing on lessons learned from Vegas outside of the Strip. We could do a whole show on the Strip someday, but Alex can host that one. We'll do the syndication off the Strip and give you some stuff. But I think big lesson there too is just always remember that when curveball comes, that it's not necessarily the worst thing. It could actually be the best thing. And sometimes curveballs mean more expense, and other times curveballs are just a chance to reevaluate everything and then dial the pencil again and see if you can get it tighter. So overall, it's good stuff. So yeah, pretty solid. We locked up a big deal. Our team locked up a 21 property portfolio in Houston. So we took that down. And then now we're partnering different investors into the deal. We got multifamily units at $70,000 a door, which is insane in Houston. So, and they're going to get like $1,000 a unit for rent. So, I mean, that just far exceeds any other market like Vegas or Arizona even. So good opportunities there.
Nice.
So,
Steve is in town. Blaze said. Blaze just saw a text from Steve Rosenberg, unless she left.
Nice.
He's in Houston, right?
Steve's in Houston, but he flies through Honolulu. He's been doing the Japan leg. So yeah, when he's in town, he's a great one to go out with because he always buys, especially if you take him to sushi. So hit him up and ask him if he wants to go to sushi or to the gym. But if you go to the gym, there's not enough steroids and pre-workout for that guy. So just
well, you always buy, so you're sneaky with the check too. You go bathroom and then pay for the table. So if he's paying for you, he must be even more sneaky. So if anybody like free drinks, just call Steve. No,
call Steve, man.
No, he's an awesome guy. Yeah. Well, I guess do we have any updates? Like, did that issue with the I guess homicide on property, like is that well, give us an update on that.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, you got to move the dead body. So I mean, that's done. And now we're renovating the unit. So that's just easy stuff. The hard part is insurance. So insurance coverage has to try to figure that out. I didn't look in the fine print on what happens when you have a murder on your property. And apparently insurance doesn't cover that kind of thing. So insurance does not cover it, which is fine because the tenant's vacated. And so we're going to renovate it anyway. So again, a blessing in disguise. We got a unit faster than we needed it. And so we'll renovate it. And they went from $600 a month rent to $1,200. So yeah. So for lack of a better term, we killed it.
Hey, question. We're going over here. Do you have to disclose the murder to the new renter? I know you do.
That's a good question.
You buy the property, but I don't know about when you rent. So I'm curious.
Yeah, there's not really a requirement when you rent that, like sometimes there's a murder there, sometimes it's been drugs, other crimes. So especially in the neighborhood where if we had to disclose that in the neighborhood where 160 units, we would have disclosures pages long because we've got drug deals every day, starting to get better now. But yeah, no, so we don't have to do that. I think some locations may, so I guess always check your local areas.
Jurisdiction.
Yeah. But people don't even ask. In our neighborhoods, they don't even ask when they apply because they just assume it's happening.
Well, how's the rental demand out there?
It's out of control. So our pro
Vegas
forma
is crazy right now.
Yeah, our pro forma, we had 3 bedrooms when we bought it, it was at $600 to $700 a unit. We brought it up to $1,200. We just rented 2 units at $1,200. Our next set of units are going to go for $1,450. So we blew through our estimates like crazy. We were only supposed to be making $60,000 a month in rent. We are now at $101,000 a month in rent. So we're way in front of our projections. So the good thing is there for all of you who are doing flips right now and you're doing some burrs. The nice thing about multifamilies, it's basically flips on steroids, because right now when you do a one house flip, you're doing this whole house and you got to figure it out. The nice thing about a multifamily building is that you just figure out 1 3-bedroom unit and then you repeat it 70 more times. Same thing with the 2-bedroom unit. And then when you buy those supplies, what's great is that you're able to really get a good deal on them. And then when you negotiate with vendors, we have to do some asbestos abatement. And so the bid was $4,000 a unit times 160. But when we told them, hey, we'll give you 25% up front, we'll commit to you 160 units. Can you do it at half off? And they said, sure. So we signed a deal, saved half the money. So there's definitely some really cool economies of scale as you get bigger. So as any of you start looking at maybe going multifamily, just let us know, because I think multifamily is a great asset to hold. Flipping is a great way to generate velocity of cash and have the funds to put as down payment. I know some of us are doing Airbnbs and some other smaller short multifamilies, but yeah, definitely think about it. It's a cool thing. We're looking at a Cleveland property right now that's $30,000 a door for quite a few doors. So we'll let you know if that's something anybody's interested in.
Love it. Well, yeah, thanks for the update so we can all kind of learn, because it's your kind of spearheading, boots on the ground over there. And I guess when it comes to the pool, like you said, sometimes it's a blessing in disguise, right? Because sometimes putting a pool in, especially in a unit like a apartment complex like that, there's a lot of liability, more overhead, higher insurance, right? I'm sure. So I think and then more cause for incidents as well. So if you can look at the bright side, it's, you know, there are some positives to not putting the pool in. Remember that pool that we decided to fill at the house, because we figured that Kekoa and I flipped this house in Portlock. I think it was Portlock, it was Triangle, and it was an expensive deal. We basically had to tear everything out. You could see through the house, you know, like one of those rehabs. And there was a pool, but it was in the front yard. And so we had to decide, do we fix the pool, which would have cost like 70 grand, I think, and took forever, or do we fill it? And so we ended up filling it. And mainly because since the pool was in the front yard, it's like liability. We would have to gate around, and which we ended, you know, we had a fence anyways, but that was a big thing. Not everyone places value on a pool, because pool is more cost, you know, it's higher maintenance costs. And if there's kids around, some parents don't like that because they have to worry, right? So anyways, lessons that we've learned in the past and continue to learn. So, but again, thanks everybody for jumping on. I know there's a lot of people that just kind of jumped on, but can we take a moment to look at Kelly, please? Everybody, Kelly, can you please do a stand up and turn around, everybody? Alex, we love you. We got like 4 Alexes in the office right now. We love his style.
That's out of control.
Oh, the screen share. Oh, I love it. Alexander the Great.
There is no descriptive to describe this.
Right on. Oh, one more. Oh, the feet. Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, God.
Right on, guys.
Sorry, I never cut my nail, but I just said paint them, but I never cut them. Never go manicure yet.
Oh,
That is so awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Right on, guys. Well, does anybody have leads, needs, and good deeds?
I got one. I'm raising funds for a property I have under contract on Big Island. It's a 3-bed, 2.5 bath on Curtistown on a 1-acre lot of land. Got it for $270, looking a little under $60,000 in renovation costs. ARV is $400 and about a 5 to 6 month turn time. So trying to raise some private funds for that, and then hard money for the rest.
Nice. How much in private capital are you looking for, Jovan?
I think I'm looking at about 60 to 66,000 in private capital.
Okay.
Good on you, Jovan.
Hey.
Oh, what's up?
Is somebody sharing their screen, I think.
All I see is you, bro.
No, you guys are on like speaker mode. So the person whose volume is on usually will come on out of the hosts, I think. I don't think it's sharing.
Never
We
mind.
see you guys only.
Never mind. I think I have my view on different. That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Scratch that.
No,
Okay.
no.
Hey.
I just Guys, I just want to say mahalo for this because I've been getting a lot of inquiries or interest for the private lending opportunities. I've pitched, a couple of times, and a few people, I never met them. Sometimes they don't even have their screen on, but they're like, "Oh yeah, I see you on Kiko. I see you on Kiko." So mahalo for this platform. It makes a big difference, and 3 properties closing next week. We're right there with raising the capital. So mahalo.
Nice, love it. Yeah. Oh, thank you for that, Tay. That means a lot. And congratulations.
Yeah, I have a need. I'm gonna be on Oahu. I've been kind of behind on my Waianae project. I got the property. It's a heavy rehab, and I've been busy with so many other properties in SoCal, which is a good problem that I've kind of just kind of put it to the side. But I kind of threw the feelers out there to try to get a project manager. A lot of people on Oahu kind of were like, "Oh yeah, I could pass by the project here and there," but really wasn't able to find that right person. I think that can kind of run the project on the project management side. I'm not going to be on island, so if you guys know anybody that could do that, and I'll pay well, and or they'll have full access to me. But I'm not going to be on island, and I just need to get that project moving forward. Need someone to kind of manage the contractors and or help me kind of get that kind of going. So
Nice. So you're looking for a project, someone to help you manage the project, take it to the finish line, right?
Yeah, it's a heavy rehab. We're gonna have to put like 150, maybe more into it, and I just need somebody that's trustworthy, someone that wants to manage a project, someone maybe wants to that is kind of has that type of project manager type of personality, right? Construction experience. Doesn't necessarily have to have a bunch of experience, investing, more so just managing the contractors. But yeah, so I'll be flying over on Tuesday night. I'll be there for 3-4 days. So love to see a lot of you there. I'm gonna go to that. I think you guys are having a meetup at one of Jerry Mateo's flips. So I'll definitely be there. But
I think it was Wednesday.
I missed all you guys. Sorry, I haven't been on that much, but we're working on 22 transactions right now, and just closing on our first multifamily unit today. Mahalo.
Nice.
Nice.
What are you getting and where?
We're getting an 18 unit in Phoenix, Arizona.
Nice. That's beautiful. And you're doing it yourself, or what are you going to do with it?
So still waiting for the cost seg back from Yona Weiss to see if it could be a good cost seg for all the stuff we got going on. It's just kind of a tax strategy play, definitely a value add play, but not sure if we're going to keep it or if we're going to flip it and just 1031 into a bigger asset. So just kind of but yeah, we're getting a pretty decent deal, and I'll be flying over there to kind of launch that off once we close. So once I'm done with the stuff here in Hawaii, I'll be heading over there.
Well, if you decide to assign it, let us know, because we'll probably have people, and if you want to throw on a assignment fee.
No, we will. I bought it from a buddy that assigned it to me, and so we're taking it down. We're closing on it, but I didn't syndicate it. We took it down with debt. So
nice. Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Nice.
Trying to be like Kekoa and Cory when I grow up. Let's go.
Hey, what? Just real quick, because this is a kind of a cool lesson. You're kind of in. You're living on Maui. You've got a deal on Oahu. You've got stuff going on in California. You're about to launch in Arizona. So you're going to be like me pretty quick. You get on an airplane and the flight attendant's like, "Hey, I got your Coke Zero waiting." And you're like, "Man, I'm on this flight way too much." But what lessons are you learning right now that you would do different? Like you just basically made a call out to say, "Hey, there's a project I got on Oahu that obviously is lagging. Reading between the lines, it's costing you money out of pocket. You don't really have boots on the ground. You're a little bit worried. What would you do different if you were to do it again?"
The project on Oahu, or which what specifically?
Just in general, the project on Oahu, or the overall kind of business model you got about being in multiple markets at this time. And just raw lessons that you've learned.
Yeah. So I think the big one is just, I mean, we're really good at buying great deals because I've trained my team very well. So I could stomach the delays because we're buying great deals. So I think that's one lesson. Number one, like you buy at a good price. I mean, you can weather a little bit of the delay. Also, just understanding that every market has its nuances, right? Like Hawaii has its nuances because of rehabbing being different here. And then like reason we're doing that multifamily in Phoenix is because you cannot do like multifamily flipping per se, or multifamily like the same in tenant friendly states compared to, you know, property owner friendly states, right? Where like I'm buying this 18 unit and I could, you know, pretty much get everybody out if I wanted to, and do that value add play. Those plays don't really exist in California, in Hawaii, not the same, because you know it's much different. So I think just understanding the market, you know, a little bit more upfront, a little bit more. I mean, would be like one big one, just like how do things really move? How do things really work in every market? I'd probably spend a little bit more time on that. And then just constantly looking for people that kind of fill in your weaknesses, things that you don't do well. Like this rehabbing is, if I was more on the rehab side, meaning I like it was something I liked, or something I was good at, or something that was you know, just better at, then I think I'd probably have this project off the ground a little bit more. But since it's something that is not my greatest strength, I end up kind of delegating, but it's been hard to delegate from afar. And you know, I spent time on Maui, but like I'm transitioning and moving back to LA because of how much the business has grown. I love Hawaii. I want to be here more, but it just, I only have 4, you know, deals here compared to the, you know, 17 in SoCal. So when I moved here, it was under the context that, you know, middle of the pandemic, things were ugly in LA. It wasn't a nice place to live, you know, at that time. And so now that's kind of changed. So anyways, I guess the lessons would be like, just make sure that you're always looking for people that complement your skill set, understand the nuances of whatever market you're trying to get into. And it's hard to understand those nuances by being far. So you have to really find people that know that stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome. Those are great lessons. Hey, when you sell that house that you're in right now, let me know.
Dude, we're in the middle of refinancing right now, and it's just like taking forever, but it's gone up so much, and we're like, all right, cool, and now we get to use it. So but we'll have all our money out fairly soon, and then it'll just be, you know, kind of playing with house money then. Let's go.
Love it.
That's good stuff, man. Love it.
Did you say that the project's in Makaha, Alex?
It's in Waianae, right in Pokai Bay. Yeah,
Pokai
right.
Bay? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's
That's
nice.
all the way
Not too
in.
far out. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it's in, but it's not far. That's good.
Yeah.
Location.
But we got it for 440, you know, and it's a heavy rehab, but still, I mean, it's, you know, got a good deal on it. So.
Well, if anybody, yeah, because I know there's a lot of people here that have deals out that side. We have deals out that side. So if worst case scenario, Alex, if you don't, if somebody doesn't reach out, just call us. Maybe we can work something out too. But please reach out to Alex if you guys want.
Yeah, I was planning to pay them, you know, kind of a flat fee of anywhere from like $7,000 to like $10,000 or something. We could work it out. Like, I mean, there's enough spread. I'm not trying, you know, I just want the right person to manage the project. Yeah.
Yep. It is kind of Wild West out there sometimes too. So you definitely can't let the project sit. Like,
yeah.
We got our containers broken into and stuff, and unfortunately our landscape being stolen the day we put them in. So, but yeah, well, let's move on. Does anybody else have any leads, needs, good deeds?
Hey, Cory, I have a couple things. So
Jose, come on, hi.
What's up, you guys? Happy Aloha Friday. First thing, we are raising money. We have a few new deals coming up. I'm gonna put my number and Instagram and everything in the chat. If you guys are interested in lending and learning, let me know. I think one's in Mililani, one's in Kalihi, and one's on the west side. So that's first thing. Second, we are doing the next deals in Aloha. So you guys kind of mentioned it. It is on Wednesday at Jeremy Mateo's flip in Hawaii Kai. He just finished. The property's beautiful. Super excited to have all you guys out there. No experience necessary. Literally just like anybody and everybody come. It's just such a cool environment to learn, leverage resources, be inspired. Like we get all levels of people there, and we're growing every month. So we're super excited to check out Jeremy's project and let him share his story. So please come out. If you guys need, I'll also throw the address in the chat. You can also check out our Instagram page and the flyers up there. But looking forward to seeing everybody on Wednesday.
Awesome. Yeah, that's hopefully I'll try to make it out there too on Wednesday. Come see you guys. All right. Anybody else got anything? And just like Kay said, there's a lot of resources in the room, so, and there's money in the room, there's investors looking to get into lending positions. So gotta ask, guys, you know what I'm saying? So Joey.
Hey, what's up, Corey? So this is not investing related, but it's real estate related. So right now I'm about to close on my first sale in a couple of weeks for a transaction. I mean, it's kind of like a big deal for me considering I've been licensed.
Nice, dude. Congratulations, man. Because you got your license, right?
Yeah, like about 2 months ago. I mean, I'm grinding every single day, learning the market. It's a lot of sweat equity and everything.
So how'd you get this? Like, how did you get, like, what was your first, like, kind of?
So I'm very fortunate. One of my close high school buddies, when I told him I got licensed, first thing he told me, "Oh, I'd like to buy a condo with you." And so we spent about a month, and he's not really pre-qualified for much. So when we found something at the Twin Towers, the one in the Pearl City, we found that going for 255. So once I hit the market, I was watching a meeting. I just called my friend. We're gonna go show it, and so we went to go see it. Put an offer in that night. Got a counter offer the next morning. Got an escrow the next morning, and then it's been back and forth on the escrow because I'm learning a lot of things. But other than that, I mean, it's the kind of the thing that I really need to get some experience, even though it's not that much.
No, yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, I mean, on top of that, like I just this past Sunday, I finished off 75 hard. So that,
you did? Nice, dude.
So it's a lot of accomplishments. I mean, I'm still learning investing stuff too, but like right now, my focus is to build the agent stuff, build my credibility, build my capital, and when that one flip comes, it will come. Like right now, it's all about the networking and doing everything I can to build my self-fulfillment for myself. Like, when you have all the stuff going on in the world, the economics, the war, then everything else. I mean, that's why I do 75 hard to like overcome all that stuff when you're going into real estate for the first few months, and then trying to finish this thing off. So I do everything not to make excuses. I go out there and take it one day at a time, kind of thing. So that's that right now.
Awesome, Joey. Congratulations, man. You earned that, right? So good. Nice. Yeah. Love it. Man, everybody's doing some stuff. So I love to hear that. Gives me energy, inspires me. I'm sure everyone else on the call. So, all right. Anybody else got anything before we move on?
Yeah, I'm looking for proof of funds for a property in Palolo.
Okay. Oh, that's easy. Yeah. What is it? Fix and flip?
Fix and flip.
Okay. I know there's you just need like a proof of funds letter.
Yeah.
What's the numbers? Purchase price, ARV?
Purchasing price is $985. ARV is 1.5. Rehab is about anywhere from 150 to 200,000.
Okay, perfect. What was the purchase price again?
985,000.
Okay, got it. And ARV was
1.5.
Okay, 1.5. Okay, love it. Well, we can get that over for you. There's a bunch of us on the call, so if anything, call it. I think you got my number. Yeah, send me a text. I'll send you instructions that we can get you that.
I sent it over to you, Brad. I sent it already. I just wanted to give you a heads up that I sent.
Okay, was that today?
Yesterday and today.
Okay. Oh, I just seen them at 90. Yeah, okay.
I think Brad is on the call.
Oh, okay. We'll get that over to you, bro. Sorry about that. Sorry for
worries.
That looks like a good one, man. Are you in contract?
No, well, I'm trying to get it on the contract right now, so I'm putting in the offer. They were receiving it yesterday, so I needed to put everything in yesterday, but I put the offer in anyways, hopefully that they didn't accept any deal yet, and so I'm going to send over the POF as soon as I get it, and hopefully we get into contract and then
got it.
Wrap it up.
Aiden, maybe can you ping the guys to get that out ASAP? Thanks, Carla. Okay.
And I got one more. We're hopefully
go ahead.
close on a Kailua deal. It's in escrow. We have to extend a little longer, but we're looking to close it. I'm gonna JV down with Kamo High and Tristan. So super excited for that one.
Nice. In Kailua too? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's our neck of the woods. Oh, congrats on that one. Do you guys and how many projects do you guys have going on right now?
Just that one. That's our first flip that we're gonna do.
Nice. Oh, good. It's good you're partnering too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That always helps.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we're running a little behind. So quick news is I'm sure everybody or hopefully it's kind of been watching because the rates have been going up, right? We did another 50 basis point hike. So just be, aware of that. And also I just got an email this morning that rates for the bridge loans, which is fix and flip, ground up construction, single family 1 to 4 is going up as well, another 50 basis points. So I would just watch out for, like your hard money. If you guys are looking to close like a DSCR loan, especially, then they don't really lock rates for that, right? So you want to be very aware of what the latest is because the rates are changing. It's very volatile. So just because you might get quoted at the beginning, like 45 days out, a certain rate, the closer you get to closing, you might want to keep checking to make sure that the numbers are still working, So anyways, just be aware of that. And today we have our guest today is Leila Morinaga, who is man, I don't even know what a title. I mean, Chief Chaos Coordinator, right? And Leila, she's a true high performing integrator, which is really rare to find, and usually she's not in the forefront, not in the spotlight, doesn't get the glory, but really she's one of the main reasons why what we do, we can do what we do, across the board. So she's in multiple companies, she's in charge of everything from bookkeeping, accounting. I just learned what AR stands for, accounts receivable, and she capital management, logistics, scheduling, project management, vendor negotiations, and integration. So Leila, welcome to your Coffee Talk. And thank you for all that she's also a mom too. So Leila, say hi.
Hi. This is not my favorite spot to be. I like to be in the background. So, hi.
So we have to drag her on and be our guest, but I think she has a lot of value because she has something that many, well, I kind of lack, of course, is kind of the attention to details and also not getting overwhelmed by the minutia or the minute details, right? That's something that, like, I think Kekoa and I are more on the visionary spectrum, and with that, nothing will get done unless you have someone or people on your team to help you bring that vision to reality, right? So, and Leila, I guess the first question we can ask is, because I genuinely want to know, what is it like being in the integrator role, especially with guys like me and Kekoa alongside you?
I'm easy to work with.
Yeah, sure.
No laugh. We talked about this.
So, what's it like? It's like herding baby kittens.
Oh God.
Okay.
There's just, you guys have so many visions for the future. You guys have so many ideas, and they're great. They're all great ideas. But as the integrator between you two, I kind of have to pick through, all these really great ideas and choose which one is the best and most likely to become reality and provide the most value to the company. Otherwise, we would never get one thing done. We don't have like 10 half, I mean, we do kind of have like 10 million halfway done projects, but you know, they're a little more done than if I was to try and run with every single thing that you want to do. Like yesterday, it was a staging company. I was like, bruh, like, can we focus here?
Company for years. Every time I talk about it, he's like, we need to start our own. It's like,
no, yeah,
I'm just
and totally.
waiting for someone to come.
I've been approached by different realtors about it as well. And it's just the logistics of that in itself is, I mean, it's a full-time thing. It's really hard to halfway do a staging company. So what else? There was, Alex was talking about one yesterday too, and it was random.
Yeah,
there's so many visionaries in this company and one integrator.
We have, lunch is interesting at the office. And really, I think, I mean, we've come up with all kinds of ideas and it's always like, oh, we should do this, we should do that. And I can just feel the energy from Leila, like, oh, we, you mean me, right? So
I always say, it sounds like you guys are giving me more work to do. Every time somebody throws an idea out there.
But every now and then, one of them will slip through and it'll, you know, so the rule in the office is if you have an idea, you have to come with proof of concept first and show the feasibility, and then you got to go to Leila's office and go sell Leila on it. And if you pass that, then we might give it a shot, you know? So Leila is balancing roles in like 2 companies and both companies have a lot of money going in and out. There's a lot of management with that, you know? So the roles have to change like left and right. And on top of that, she has a 13-year-old daughter, and she also has a kind of a Hanai daughter now that she's taking care of. That was kind of brought upon her unexpectedly, right? Since baby time, and she's the princess in the office now, and she has plenty of uncles. Yeah,
so
she's
don't mind if
now.
she wakes up.
So hopefully, if she, we gotta get this done before she wakes up. So, but Leila, I guess when you're in your role, since you wear multiple hats, and I think a lot of people on the call, as they grow their business, they're gonna have to remove themselves a little bit, right? And when I live across the board, like your role is gonna be hard to remove, right? Because you're in so many different roles. So when you attack your day, I guess, how do you attack the day when there's so much across the board that you have to check off, and
Well,
how do you balance priority?
If you look at my computer screen, there's 7 million tabs open all the time. It always is telling me I need to close things out because it's ruining its operating or whatever. And then I also there's a laptop right here too that you can't see. And then my phone is on a stand as well. So it's like 3 different things happening. And I just kind of run through I'll start with the development side. You know, I'll run through, okay, the projects, all of the projects, what I need, you know, from contractors for servicing, investor, you know, relations, and just try and create everything. For me is just very checklisted in my brain. That's how my brain is. So it's just like I go through the checklist of all the different aspects of each project, and you know, identify things that need to be done on that day, and then you know, write down things that might need to be done in the future. I think that's just a very mom thing to do. I'm sure all the moms on here will agree. That's like how you have to work.
Well, even before you leave the house, I'm sure, right? Because you got to get baby ready, make sure she got diapers, she got the bottle, right? I could imagine. So
yeah, I gotta wake up, get the baby up, feed the baby, take my other daughter to school, then I just come straight to the office because there's no in between. It's just, I gotta just bang everything out and get to wherever I gotta go as soon as possible. Because everything takes me 50 times longer with a baby.
Yeah. So I know it's a lot harder. Last year, I remember I think we were all in Dallas, and you were saying like, oh no, I might have to take on the baby, right? And I was like, ooh, how you gonna do that? You know, and it's like there's no way. Like you have so many important roles that even if you can't miss a beat, right? And having a new baby that you're responsible for is definitely going to change things. So I was kind of like, oh man, I don't know how you're going to do this. We got to support Leila, but honestly, you've been handling it. I don't even know how you're doing it, but kudos on you. And when it comes to, I mean, I guess we have to break it up in a couple of sections, because when it comes to like the projects and project management, that can be a full-time gig on its own, right? Like Alex is looking for somebody that's, you know, that can help him out on his project. But when you're managing multiple across the board, you're not just managing the scheduling and logistics, you're managing the contractors, looking at the bids, screening the contracts with all the vendors. So when it comes to project management, what advice would you give to us on the call who have projects going, some multiple at a time, where maybe they are looking for a Leila or you know, someone to be boots on the ground to manage all of that, on top of the capital, like the draws, the construction draws, filing for those draws, getting them back, redeploying in the proper manner to match the scheduling and logistics, right? Material ordering, lead times. So can you please tell us if there is something that you've learned through this that would help other project managers or people on the call looking for project managers? What would you look for?
Oh, what advice would you give? Organized. You have to be organized. Try and set as many target dates as possible for every single thing. And I guess the most important thing I've learned over the years is, even though you and your contractor agree on a target date, it's always good to revisit the date before the date gets there. So like a week before, you know, make sure you're on target for that date. If there's anything that's going to stand in the way in hitting that target, it's better to know sooner rather than later, so you can try and still, you know, hit your timelines and milestones.
And I think one thing I've kind of observed is balancing, I guess, because you kind of have to take a leadership role with the projects, right? You make the decisions on the spot, you do the negotiations. So how do you balance like keeping the morale with making sure that shit's getting done on time and on budget? Because that's never easy, right? Especially with contractors.
I definitely am a firm believer of, you know, showing your appreciation to your contractors in the form of like buying them lunch, you know, joking around, having, you know, good rapport on the site with even the workers, making sure you come in, say hi, kind of put on your Miss Aloha hat. And I guess in no better way of saying it, but turning on the charm, you know? Yeah. So then when it comes time to have to drop the hammer, you know, you can fall back on that whole, like, you know, I'm always on your team. I call my, you know, I'm nice about things, but, you know, this is still business. And then they get it, because they know that, you know, you are a good guy or a nice guy, but they're kind of in the wrong there. So it helps them realize, you know, right, when you know, they know you're on their team and you're not just trying to browbeat them over every detail and push them to their limits constantly.
Yeah. and I guess when it comes to managing the project, I feel what we all need to do is kind of set or plan better upfront, right? I think if you can plan everything out, when I'm talking about material orders, lead times, you know, what's going to happen first, right? And then the next thing, and it's never going to be probably the plan from the beginning to the end. Like you're probably going to have a curveball thrown at you, and you're probably going to have to pivot, which we've done multiple times, right? So being flexible enough and creative enough to pivot when you need, I feel is very important, which is when I get a lot of kind of our updates with Leila, and I will talk about the projects, what our plans are. My job is to make sure that the money's there, it's coming in, and then also make strategic decisions alongside Leila and Kekoa. And so when those strategic kind of meetings happen, usually it's because we have to pivot, and it might be a big one, you know, like maybe it's permits, maybe we found something that is major, like a you know, sewer pipe going under where the land where we're going to put a pool, right? So, or we get a bid to fix the pool for 70 grand. Sometimes you got to pivot. And when you pivot and you have to change things up, sometimes that affects the whole project, right? It's kind of like a domino effect where we have to change things. So when we make those changes, it's not just on the project, because there's the back end too. Like, how does that affect the capital management? Like how much money we have left? Where's our draws? Are we going to get them back in a few days? So all of that is stuff that Leila's responsible on just the project side, you know, and when it comes to helping out with and managing the fund as well, initially you were kind of just into help out because we have many projects going, but now you're deeply involved in both companies. So and both companies are it's kind of interesting because one is, you know, more on the borrower side, and then one is more on the lender side. So you kind of get to see both worlds, right? Especially yourself, because you're not only are you working in on the projects, but you're boots on the ground in the projects. You're making decisions on the projects, and same thing as on the lender side, right? So have you noticed any difference in the two, or is your role as an integrator, as the director of operations, kind of the COO hat, looking across all, you know, multiple companies? What would you say is the similarities and differences?
I think I use the same mindset when approaching both, which is organization, processes as much as, I mean, building a house is a big process. It's one standardized process for the most part. Fortunately, we're in new builds now, so those crazy flips are we don't have to deal with too many of the pivots. You know, new builds, it's very systematic. So I like to think in like a systematic and processed manner in general anyway. So just carrying that over to the lending side, and just, I mean, it was really helpful being on the borrower side, right? Like I already knew the process for funding deals, just being on the borrower end, maybe not the back end where the underwriting and all that stuff is, but I understood what's supposed to go down, what kind of documents and all that. So that was really helpful when kind of transitioning, and then understanding how I can outline and detail the process for the company, creating, you know, training documents for the new LOs and the processors. That's kind of where I tapped into being on the borrower end, because I know what the borrower is going to be seeing. So it made that a little bit easier. Dealing with the draws, you know, that the backside of the draws. So handling what are those, CFSI and the third party, setting that stuff up, you know, I tapped into all of that. So I don't think that I could have been as successful in helping you with Keiko Capital if I didn't already have the project management side under my belt and just being so involved on that side, whether or not I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Um,
And
so
it's
yeah.
interesting, like your role, because especially for Keiko Capital, which was a startup company that we bootstrapped, right? So it wasn't just a startup company, it was we bootstrapped this company where we didn't take in, you know, outside investors, we didn't have to, you know, take in an outside partner at all. We kind of just built this like one deal at a time, you know, and we still are, like, we are very far from being a mature company. And by the time our company's mature, like maybe all of us will be out of it. Yeah, who knows, you know? But there's life cycles to companies and ventures. Like any business it's its own entity. It's its own being, right? It's born. Usually there's excitement and in the first few years, and it's a lot of turbulence, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of things to figure out. And the company starts to change its identity, and like there's different portions in a company's life, I feel, where you hit ceilings, or there's growing pains. Maybe you're growing really fast, and then now you have to go and clean some stuff up and fix the company, fix a division of the company. And all that is part of the growth of a new startup company. And I know that you've experienced, I mean, it's hardcore entrepreneurship when you build something from scratch, you know, and you have to build the team. Not only have to build the team, you have to manage the team. And there's personalities, everybody, especially our team, right? Our team comes from all over. We got Tyson from Canada, Alex from Alaska, Danny from Connecticut, you know, and we have half of our team in Florida. So there's so many different cultures to manage, and we only get half of it, right? Because half of our team's in Florida, but having to deal with different personalities and manage, it's kind of a running joke that in the office it's just everybody gets scolded by Leila. Even if someone new comes in, it's like it's just a matter of time. Like I wonder when they're gonna have their Leila talk, you know? So,
yeah, everybody's so scared of me, and I'm like, I think I'm nice.
But you're
I just
here
have expectations.
They don't want to let you down. That's why they don't want to disappoint you. At least that's how I feel, you know. So
even on the job site, the guys are like, "Oh, she's coming." Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm nice, guys.
I think they love talking to me, you know. But when Leila calls, oh man, could be about anything.
Right. You kind of don't really want to get a call from me. If you got a call from me, something's wrong. Because I don't usually.
We love to keep Leila happy, and there came a point when I realized that, you know what, like Leila has strengths that I need, right? So not just me, but a lot of us on our team, because a lot of us are big dreamers, big thinkers, we're entrepreneurs, we have the fire inside, right? And that's hard you can't contain that, you know, you just have to manage it. But when you have an office full of it, it's hard to be the sole one, right? That's why if Shino was maybe in the office with us too, like it brings some balance maybe. But I realized that I cannot be the one cutting the checks anymore, you know, because then it'll just be like, oh, everybody gets money. And the first time we're looking at offices, like one of the offices we're looking at right in downtown with like the nicest view, glass walls everywhere. And I was like, man, good thing Leila's here, because if it was me and Kekoa, we would be signing this lease already, you know, just figuring out how we're gonna pay for it, because that's how we kind of are. And Kekoa, do you have thoughts about Leila and her?
That's how you are, Cory.
Oh, come on.
He threw you under the bus.
Don't even. Leila knows the truth. We would have signed that lease.
You guys got expensive,
but Leila,
that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, Leila was, you know, so she, like, I had to, realizing this, I had to ask Leila, because she told me from day one, before we brought her into the company, she said, look, I don't want to manage the account. You know, like the bank accounts. I was like, okay, you don't have to manage their accounts. And then it came to a point where I was like, I think you have to manage the accounts because I can't be the one cutting the checks, right? So I don't even cut my check to myself. So because I know that it's necessary, to have someone who thinks more logical, thinks, has everything in their mind, knowing the intricacies of both companies to have to manage. She'll know when, okay, we have $200,000 that's waiting to get reimbursed, right? So we're 200,000 short there. We got money out here. We have private capital there, right? So for me, since I kind of removed myself away from that role, Leila now for any little expense, even if it's like investing in a skip trace account or something like that, like I can't even make that on you because you are the one that sees the whole big picture, 30,000 foot view, and know the intricacies and what is needed on both companies. So with having an integrator like yourself, Leila, it's been invaluable, obviously, but it is rare, right, to find an integrator. I know there's people on the call who are looking for someone who not only is good at being an integrator, but they take ownership of that role, and integrators are really hard to find, good integrators, because typically they do a lot of important work and they don't get any of the glory, right? Typically. So that's a rare person to find who doesn't want to be in the spotlight. They rather be in the background, but being a part of something that's moving forward. So if you have to describe qualities in an integrator, when you're hiring somebody, what do you think would be the most important? Maybe top 5. Organizational skills for sure, like you said.
Yeah, that's a given. I would have to say somebody who learns very quickly and takes the initiative to learn on their own. Many times throughout my entire life, I guess, I will take on a role that maybe I'm not qualified for, but I'll figure it out and I'll find the way and I'll learn how to do it and do it well. I think that's huge because just trying to find someone to hire in previous companies that I've worked for, I can't stand repeating myself. Cory will know. I can't. My patience is so thin. If I have to repeat myself over and over again, that's a deal breaker. Like I want to say it once, I'll maybe say it twice. And if you can't figure it out after that, like you're useless to me. Sorry. And I'm also very blunt. I love everyone, but I don't really have a good filter. So you got to be able to take the punches and just know that like I'm saying it for a reason, like you got to be able to grow and you have to learn. And learning, I think for me is so valuable. I love learning. I have so many certificates that like, why do I even have them? I've taken so many licensing tests, but I enjoy learning them. I think I'm a forever learner. So like I am certified in air conditioning. Yeah. Why?
You did have your notary.
I was a notary. I don't have it anymore.
ESCP.
ESCP. I'm a licensed ESCP coordinator. So
NMLS.
I do all of our project ESCP work, as well as a few other investors I do for too. That not very many, but yeah. And then LO, or a mortgage originator.
What else? You got the project management.
Yeah, project management.
There's probably more.
Just taking as many opportunities to learn how to do each role best is important for an integrator. Now, Cory will tell me that he wants to learn how to do taxes because he wants to do his taxes better. And I'm like, no, your role as a visionary, that's not for you. You hire people for that. You hire the integrator who can get those things done for you because your time is not valuable learning how to do taxes. I don't want to learn how to do it either. So please, let's hire someone.
Well, and I think more importantly, like like partnership, if you're gonna partner, and I don't know if I'd do this if I, didn't have partners, like Kekoa, like Leila, and our guys in the office, and because it's lonely, it's a little scary, it's boring. And but if you are gonna partner, it is important to make sure that you have the right partners, right? People who kind of fill your weaknesses with their strengths. And integrators, I do feel, are harder to find, really good integrators, because everybody can kind of be a visionary, right? Everybody's got the best idea in the world, but how do you turn that into reality? Well, you need someone strong in those areas. And I think what makes Leila a great integrator, especially for guys like Kekoa and I, she is organized, right? She's takes initiative, like how she said, if she wants to learn something, she'll take the initiative to go and get certified or go study and learn and become good at whatever role that is. Fast learner, like you said, I agree with that. What else makes there's a list of hundreds. If you've read Rocket Fuel,
Yes. Okay.
there's
So
a list of
this idea of visionary and integrator, let's dial that back. That goes back to Gino, what's his last name? Wickman's book. Cory had, I guess, us read, was Traction. And in the book, he brings up, it's the EOS, so the Entrepreneurial Operating System. And it basically is kind of a guide to a successful business and being an entrepreneur. So in a successful business, you have the visionary and then you have the integrator. And that partnership is going to, depending on how strong that partnership is really going to determine how successful your business is going to be able to be, because you can't have too many people having visions and nobody integrating, and you can't have too many integrators without the visions, because otherwise I would just be sitting here doing what, I don't know, paperwork, or I mean, I would be managing the project, but that's a vision of somebody else. So if you haven't read the book Traction and you're trying to scale your businesses, as the entrepreneurs that are on this call, we recommend that book for sure. It's a good one. There's a whole series of books by that guy.
And this kind of just reminds me of another topic that our good friend Taro told us, and Kekoa and I had dinner with him. Oh man, this was years ago. I think it was at Auntie Dana's house in North Shore, when she lived in North Shore. But he is saying that, like, you never hire entrepreneurs. It's just not going to work, because they're not employees. They have a lot of horsepower, right? And they do take initiative. So they can run fast and run hard, but are they going to run in the same direction as you, right? Now, I feel that integrators still can have the entrepreneur spirit. They're still entrepreneurs, but they know their role and they know their strengths and they stick to it. So it's not only so valuable that Leila is an integrator for guys like us, to try to bring our ideas and our visions to reality. But it's also important that she knows that her role is that, right? Because some people, maybe their strengths may lie heavily on the integrator spectrum, but their desires are to be the front man, to be the visionary, because when you have entrepreneurs on your team, I think the way around that is you partner with them, is what Taro said. So you don't hire entrepreneurs. It's just not going to work. You partner with entrepreneurs, right? And that's how our entire kind of office runs, with the LOs too. They take ownership of their book of business, and the company's providing an opportunity for them. Now it's up to them to go out there and bring business for themselves and the company, right? And we've crafted a compensation plan because we know this. Like, I know the horsepower that we all have as entrepreneurs here on the call. If we're all running in the same direction, we can change the world. I truly believe that. I mean, look at Elon Musk, right? He's the king. and he's changing the world.
Biggest
I'm a
fanboy for
fanboy,
Elon
yes.
Musk here, by the way, if you haven't already figured that out.
I am a Elon Musk fanboy. So, and
I think
I'm not ashamed of that.
just to piggyback on what you were saying, Corey, is like that your integrator that you identify if you're in the market for one. I think it's important that they also have a little bit of entrepreneurial spirit and they buy in to your vision, because there is a little bit of visionary in what I do as well. So he'll have the vision and I'm supposed to make it happen, but he's not going to tell me how to every step that he wants me to take to get it done. So I have to envision the best way to make it happen and, you know, put a little bit of my own flex on that idea to, you know, give it the best chance of being successful.
Yeah. And I think too is an integrator who, yeah, they might be more in the background, but they're not afraid to speak up. You know, they're not a pushover, is important too, because you don't want a key player on your team being a yes man, right? That's cancer to a company. That's cancer to culture in business, truly, right? And if that happens I've seen, I mean, Leila and I were part of a company that was that, you know, that was the culture, and that business is no more anymore. So that's very important too, is having the team around you, knowing that they trust you enough that they can speak up and speak their mind, right? As long as it's delivered with respect, then that's very necessary for a company's survival, right? Because there's a life cycle of companies. Some companies die instantly upon birth, and then some companies last, you know, centuries, right? But at some point, you know, the company does morph, right? And then any part of a new venture there's always turbulence in the beginning. So before we wrap, I know we're going over and there's so much more I wanted to cover, but maybe we can revisit again, because I think this is a very important topic, especially in real estate where you have so many third parties that you have to work with, right? Leila deals with probably all our vendors, from realtors to title officers, contractors. Now on the other side, we have capital providers, servicers, fund control. It's just so much, you know, and there's only so much that Kekoa and I can do, and Alex and all of our guys on the team. We can't take all of those calls, and some of us would just get overwhelmed by the minutia, like I would, you know. So thank God for Leila, and I hope that everybody who's starting to scale their business, right? Like I'm very curious about Alex and how you're making it all come together, you know, because 17 projects in LA, that's no joke.
Yeah, well, I was going to mention something. I was going to interject. I was waiting to finish because I think it is a super valuable conversation, because so many of the entrepreneurs that, you know, get into the space are visionaries, have more on that side of things. But I failed miserably in the past because I didn't have that, you know, chief operations officer, that integrator, whatever you want to call it. And what I've learned is, you know, by attracting a fantastic integrator in my partner, Will Wall, that I think some of you on the call know, is that they are there to kind of also help to like be a sounding board, but at the same time, they're not just a yes person, like you said. It's like, you know, they have to kind of vet your ideas, because then you're just gonna go all over the place, or like something's we need something's more of a priority, and this needs to be kind of tackled. This needs to be worked on first, and instead we're kind of going all over the place. So we got all these fantastic ideas. So that balance of like, hey, you know, the inspiration and then you know the traits that a visionary has, and like he said in the rocket fuel book, I made Will read that book when he first came on board, because I saw that potential of him being able to run the operations, and I hated the minutia, but I was great at getting deals. It's great on working the relationships, great on getting some money, all that. But there's a lot of things I was poor at. So if you really want to grow and you are more on the visionary side, it's very important that you attract that key player to your team and to your squad that can help you to execute and get those things done that you're not going to do, that need to get done, that are super important for the business. So great conversation, guys. I'm super happy you guys are having this, because I would not be where I'm at without a great integrator by my side. So, Will Wall, he's not on the call now. He's probably working on some operation stuff while I'm on this call.
I love it. I love it. No, yeah. I knew you had that already because you can't operate a business without like a COO or somebody who's got boots on the ground and it's going to make it happen, but like the visionary's role is very important too, right? You push the business forward. You're trying to see forward and ahead and so you're thinking strategically. Like I think when it comes to business, having an integrator is so important. And Rocket Fuel is such a great book and traction. And the first time I heard of Rocket Fuel, actually, I think we were at Brandon's house.
We were at Brandon's house and he gave us a list of 5 books, I think, and Rocket Fuel and Traction were 2 of the 5.
Yeah. Yeah. And he immediately spotted out. He's like, oh, you're the integrator, right? And I didn't know about Rocket Fuel at first. So it really was Brandon that kind of brought the spotlight to it, but I was describing the role. And then I was like, okay, Rocket Fuel, I'm gonna remember that one. Didn't pick it up. And then Keone came on our call here. Keone was the one he said, like, I just read Rocket Fuel, it's so good. I was like, okay, second person, we gotta read this. I read it and it was exactly kind of what we were already working on, as a company. And it was very clear our roles after reading that, and then you understand.
The point about that book, Rocket Fuel, that it makes is that also that like she said, Alex said, that the integrator doesn't mean that all they're doing is just all work. They have to have a little visionary in them too. And I asked Will after you read the book, hey, like which one are you? Because I'm clearly more of a visionary, way more, like 80-90%. And then he's like, well, actually, I'm a little bit of both. I was like, oh, okay, great. So. And I have seen that. It's just like he's run with his own ideas that had nothing to do with me, but they were just, integrated to business and making the business better because, they have both. It's like saying masculine, feminine. Some people are very, very masculine. Some people kind of have that, in between. So there's like kind of that balance that, he has that I don't. And so that's what we make a really good team. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, that's a perfect example because Will too, he'll be integrator, but he has the entrepreneur spirit, right? I mean, he came on the calls, and so like you still need that horsepower. And I use this example a lot, but it's like Leila and any other strong integrator are like blinders, and the visionary is kind of like the prize winning racehorse, has a lot of horsepower, can get from one end to the other, but they need the blinders on. Like they gotta be focused. Otherwise, the horsepower is just gonna go in all different directions, and you'll never cross the finish line, right? So hopefully, if you aren't aware of kind of your role or what your personality is, maybe you should read the book. Read the book. There's a little kind of quiz in there that will kind of show you where on the spectrum you fall. So I encourage that, and then I hope the best. I hope everybody can find themselves a Leila. And no, Leila cannot be integrator famous. Like that's one hard line. Like, so I really appreciate it. I know, and I think everyone. I mean, I don't even know if these calls would be happening if it wasn't for Leila and Sheena, right? And this goes for Sheena as well. So I thank you guys, and I don't know how you do it. So credit to all the mothers out there, trying to in business and trying to make it happen and making it happen. Like I know there's a lot of mothers on the call here, and I just, I see with Ashley and Leila, I see firsthand like how hard that it is. So big credit to them, and I hope you guys get to celebrate with your moms and all the mothers out there because it is a very important day. But with that, does anybody have anything else to add? Leila, thank you so much, and happy early Mother's Day.
Thanks, guys. I think Kaylee said he had something. I think that's Kaylee.
Yeah, I think it's Kaylee too, or Ozzy Osbourne. I think he looks like
or
Ozzy.
AKA Alexander the Great.
The Great.
All right, so a quick question I had for you, Leila, as far as if someone, whether it's myself in the future or someone on this call was looking for an integrator because they maybe wanted to scale and get to the next level, what are some of the things that we should be looking for in the person, whether it's their language, their attitude, their philosophy? How do we find a good integrator? Not necessarily what did it look like, but yeah, do I go on Indeed? Do I go on Craigslist? When I interview them, what should I be looking out for? Whether it's the way they dress, the way they talk, what I guess makes a good find, a gem, a diamond in the rough, such as yourself. That's my question.
That's a good one. That's a tough
Yeah.
one too.
That was a tough one. Well, obviously you have to vibe right. You have to be able to vibe right with that person, because if they're going to integrate your vision, they have to see your vision and they have to understand your vision. Because if without that, they're going to have no motivation to see things through. Because I mean, there's times where Cory might present an idea and I'm like, no, right? Like I don't vibe with that idea, so it doesn't get done. Bottom line. So they have to really see. They have to really see the vision that they're putting out, your vision, and what you stand for, your culture, who you are. They have to be open-minded, because they're going to have their own ideas. But you know, as an integrator, you need them to fulfill for you, and in that they should be able to learn whatever problems arise. They're going to need to be able to attack that. So you can't really have somebody who shies away from confrontation, but at the same time, you can't really have like somebody who's a hothead. You know, there has to be a good balance of that, where they're able to kind of stay focused on really what the thing is that needs to get done, and don't get too caught up in emotions. I think I'm not a very emotional person, so that is actually very helpful. What else?
Well, I think there has to be respect between the two like partners, or sometimes it's more than two, like me, Kekoa, and Leila and Alex, and pretty much everybody on the team. Like we all have a voice in the company, right? And so there has to be respect. Like and obviously I've known Leila for years. I've worked alongside her for years. So when I do go and present like an idea, like, hey, we should do this, I kind of already know that it might get shut down like that. No, too much. No. How are you going to do this? Well, how are you going to do that? Tell me how this is going to work. I was like, well, I was hoping you'd figure that out for me.
I mean, and you have to be accepting of the fact that maybe your great idea is not a great idea right now, but maybe when you're done tackling the last great idea, then we can focus on the next great idea, and being able to put that on the back burner while you really handle the things that matter. Not that there's no bad ideas. It's just that some have to take priority. Otherwise, you're going to be like, your head is just going to be spinning. So
yeah, Will tells me all the time, like, no, we're not doing that. or we're like the other day we were filming content. And he's like, no, look, no, not like that. You got to do this. You got to do this. And he was just like, I just have to take the feedback, dude. Like, I'm just like, if you don't do that, then you can't have that partnership, or you can't have that synergy, because it has to be two ways. I tell him what to do, and then he's telling me what to do. It just works back and forth all day long.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's very key. The chemistry, the respect amongst the entire team. Actually, it's like sports, right? Like you have a basketball team, like you might stack it with all-stars, and Hall of Famers. But then if you go play, like you put them against a young, hungry team that just has great chemistry, everyone knows their role down to the water boy, there's a good chance that team will win, because I've seen it, if anyone's played sports, like it doesn't matter, like if you have all the best guys on your team, sometimes that makes it worse, right? There's too many decision makers, too many egos, too many visionaries, right? So you need a good balance, and then Leila brings balance to our companies. I'm sure Will does to yours, right? That sounds like Alex.
You know what, number one question I'm always asking to him? Okay. What do you need from me? And then from there, I can just figure out, is that something I'm going to do, or is that something I'm going to delegate? Or is that something that I'm not going to do? It's that simple. I just like, we have all these conversations, we're executing, we're getting deals, we're reviewing deals, we're doing all the stuff that, we need to do. What do you need from me, bro? Okay, cool. And then I just go from there.
Yep.
And actually very important, that question coming the other way, because if the visionary never stops to check on your integrator, like that, you're going to lose touch. You're going to lose touch with really what's going on, and
you lose the chemistry.
Yeah. After a while, sometimes when he doesn't check in, I get real grouchy. Like, you don't even care about me.
Can I just add something really quick? First off, I really resonate a lot with Leila, and I really look up to her because a lot of the things that she operates on, I see a lot of myself on. So I just want to say I love you, Leila. You're an amazing person, and I look up to you. So you're at least you have a fan on me. But more importantly, to go back to Keali'i's question, when you're interviewing for an integrator, I identify as an integrator. So one of the things that I can tell with someone who's like-minded is if you ask them a project or a problem that they had to solve, most visionaries can only go like 2 or 3 layers deep. An integrator can go like 10 to 20 layers deep and keep on going. And it's something that I really enjoy doing. And I can tell that Leila loves to do it. So a really good interview question to ask if you're looking for an integrator is just like, tell me about a problem that you had to solve and just keep on asking more questions. If they can answer it, awesome, you got an integrator. If you don't, you got a visionary.
That's a good one, because I think of myself and I'd probably give like maybe the top 2 things that needed to get done, but not like the details, right? Because to get things done is not easy sometimes, right? It could be simple, but it's not easy.
Just defer to me. I don't know. You gotta ask Leila.
Yeah, actually, I love that line. He's like, I don't know, I gotta check with Leila first to go over there. So, but thank you, Leila, and I hope everybody has a great weekend and
Happy Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. Yeah, and we'll see you guys next week. Aloha, everybody.
Yeah.